Alrighty, you are going to be selecting and cutting out parts of one picture and you're going to be pasting them into another. My students in the past have always really enjoyed this activity because they wanted to cut their picture out and put them in a picture with their favorite athlete or in a fancy sports car or something like that. Our first step is to open Adobe Photoshop. And we're going to scroll down here, Adobe Photoshop right there. So again, I clicked on the little window here, Adobe Photoshop, and it's opening up. And we're going to click File, New, and we're just going to take default Photoshop size. Now, if I had already copied an image, I could click my clipboard size. If I do that and hit go, create. Now that's the size of an image that I just clipped while I was practicing. But for our purposes, we're just going to go ahead and go File, New, and we'll just default Photoshop size. Create. I'm going to stop for a moment and I'm going to talk about how we should be doing our Google searches to make things work much, much better. So I'm going to want a beach scene. And that'll be your first job, is to go out and find the two pictures that you want to use. I like this one. Oh, except, let me go back. I need to click on images because this gives me some different tools, but I have to click over here on tools in order to get them. And for size, I want a large size. I don't want one that ends up being 1 inch by 1 inch. So let's go with large size. And then I don't see that other one I liked so much now, but it must have been a small size and it would not have worked well. So I rather like that one. So let's see, that's not very big, is it? Okay, but we're going to just copy and paste this. All right, when I get back into Photoshop, I go ahead and just click the top of it and do Control V. Now you could have used one that you had previously selected and saved to your folder, and that's what I suggest that you do, is that you go select your folders and you go save them into our work drive. Now I want a picture of a polar bear. So what do I like? I want one that has an orientation that will work well with my picture. Here we go. I'll move that off there. And then we'll look. Let's see. Could he be walking toward me there? I don't know. One of the things that actually helps is if you choose something. The polar bear on snow it's a little bit more complicated to select. So that polar bear against black, but I kind of like to have his nose unless I moved him over like so his nose went on the edge. Oh, how cute is that polar bear cub? I like that. Wow, he's winking. You can't get any cuter than that. Only it happens to be a video and not. So I'm just going to copy this image, copy image. That is just too cute. You'll notice I clicked edit paste, except I should have, oh, and he is on his own layer. So let me show you about these layers. This is really interesting. There's an eyeball here, and I can turn them off and on, which is very similar. So actually he's on his own layer, and I'm going to now try to cut him out so that I can place him in my picture. That's just too cute. All right. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to this selection tool, and we're going to click the little arrow to get our drop down. I'm pretty sure we're going to get it here in just a minute. Might work better if I quit clicking. Okay, give me options. All right, so if you click on it and get nothing, click on another one, click that, and then go back and click on it, and they'll show up. We want to use the magnetic lasso tool. This actually makes it pretty easy. Now, once we do that, we have tools up here that we can use. We want to pay attention to which one. This is a new selection, but if we use it, we won't be able to add to the selection, and we do want to be able to add and take away. So we're going to use this one, and then we're going to go down here and start anywhere you want. I'm going to start right there, and watch that little thing just pick up a whole lot of details. Generally, when you get to like an edge or a corner like that, like the ear, you can click and put the anchor point yourself. And if you kind of work around, like it's really vague in there what the colors are and where is Bear and where is the background. While he's very, very cute, it's not necessarily easy to do. Now, we'll be able to make some changes to him after we put him in. Now there's a point, so we're going to go down here. And this little bear is obviously going to have to stand on something because we're not going to be able to get all of his foot. Because all of his foot is not showing, or his leg. So he has got to be in front of something. Look at that. I kind of need my edge to be over there. So I went back and clicked, and it's still putting it, it's doing a pretty good job of detecting those edges. And if you'll notice, with my cursor out this way a little bit, it leans toward having them closer rather than further. Click there. And click to join, and look, I have him selected. Okay, let's notice here that, okay, I'm not active again, there we go, that if there was some area that I wanted to add, look at the magnetic tool, and it has a plus sign. So now I could add okay, so again, it's got the plus sign, and I want to add to it, so I'm going to pull this down here and click here, and then if I hit Control, the icon changes to a 0. Do you see that there? And left click. Oh, except that it included that whole little thing that I just did. So I'm going to hit Escape, and then I'm going to go to Edit, undo Magnetic Lasso, and I'm going to go back and do it again. Nope. Click here, click here, click there, there. All right, little buddy. Control left click, and it added it to the selection. So I'd kind of like to add that back in there too, and I'd like to take that out. So I can either, I can click on this one, select from, And notice I have a minus sign. Can you see that there? So let's go, well, here. Let's go right here and follow him up and click right there and down. And again, control arrow, control left click. And there we go. I've got that cut out. I'm not sure that's going to actually work out really well, but we will find out. Now what I want to do is go over here to this icon and click on, it's going to tell us add layer mask. And look, magically he is cut out. Don't really like those edges there. It's, not the most beautiful thing, but we can put him in a way that will kind of make sense. Okay, next. Now, because we want the background to go away, I'm going to right click on the layer and I'm going to click Convert to Smart Object. Now what's showing through is if I turn off the eyeball on that layer, we'll see that he's all by his lonesome self on there. Okay, so now at this point we've turned off the background, and if I click the eyeball here on this layer, our beach shows up again. Yay! But I need to make sure layer 2 is still active, and that it is active because it's gray. So now my bear is too big, so I'm going to go to Edit, Free Transform, and then I get my my bars that I can use. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key because I want to maintain his proportions. And I think he's going to have to be about that size to fit into the scene. I did not hold down the Shift key, and as you can see, on the second one I didn't. As you can see, that twisted, see, I can really mess him up if I don't hold down the Shift key. So Shift key maintains his height to width proportion, and there we go. Now at this point we decide where we want our little bear to be, and then we can pick him up and we can move him there. Now he's not in the shade, so that's actually not very good. And over here in the sun, he would actually need to be a little bit bigger. So we're still in free transform. I'm going to hit Shift. I did not hit Shift. Okay. Make him about that big. You know what? He'd look better if he was like in front of the chair. Let's try that. No, that doesn't even work, does it? What if he's hiding back here under the chair? How cute is that? There we go. And that will complete your assignment. So have fun with this and realize what you can do in a lot of ways.